This pond isn't filling with water. Why? We had a storm over the weekend. I was hoping to come here and actually see water in the bottom of the pond, but there isn't any. Why? There's two things that are preventing this pond from getting water right now. I can fix both of these problems. I have the machines and now I've spent time in both of them. I know how to run them, but it's not that simple. The race is on because at the end of this week, there's a tropical storm coming up. It's gonna hit us and dump water onto this property.
Tropical Storm Nicole has hammered Florida throughout the day, and it is far from over. You can see the wide swath of rain still forecast with a lot of severe thunderstorms potential on the front side, eventually all the way into the northeast, producing very heavy rain. Some spots could get 3 to 5 inches of rain. That could lead to some flash flooding.
If I'm ready, if I can move these piles, redo these swales, this pond will start to fill and we'll be good before winter gets here. That means I gotta get going because it's just me all by myself. I don't have Danny anymore, and there's a lot of work to do here. Can we beat the storm? Comment below. Do you think we're gonna beat it? Let's see. Week 3 of our off-grid homestead from scratch, and we starting the week out with, you guessed it, broken machines. I wanted to do a little bit of pushing with the bulldozer over the weekend. I went over to the site to start pushing. Well, that's not good. The dozer is not turning over. I'm either doing something wrong, which is possible, or we have another machine broke down. So far we have had every machine that's come on this property break down. Dang it. My car died. I had a breakdown. Oh man. It would not start. So today we're gonna figure out how to get this machine up and running. Oh, look at that. Had a windstorm over the weekend. Blew down some branches in the way. Hopefully that's the only one. Maybe that's our last roadblock today. All right, the dozer is up and running. Thanks to, as always, Mac the mechanic. Had him run by just to show me how to jump a 24-volt system, make sure I wasn't gonna do anything wrong. They're not my machines, I don't wanna break them, so the little extra of getting a mechanic to tell me exactly how a 24-volt system works, how to jump it the right way, well worth it. You can't jump a 24-volt system with a 12-volt battery. Things will not end well. Glad I didn't try. Down in the pond, there is no water in here. Why? Why do we have no water? Well, I know why. We do not have a spring feeding this pond. We don't have any groundwater here. The only way this pond is going to fill is with rainwater. When it rains, this pond doesn't get very many droplets. It will never fill from the rain falling right on the pond. But fortunately, there's a lot more area here that we can draw from. In the pond world, they refer to this area as your watershed. So basically, this pond is located here at the bottom of this sunny mountain. We put it here very specifically because we knew we were gonna need the watershed of the rest of Sunny Mountain to fill our pond. All of that hill there. As rain falls down on that hill, it can roll down the hillside and into our pond. But it can't do that right now. Why? We have an existing swale over there. Now I know what you're thinking. What is a swale? What is a swale? Remember that game you used to play where you'd put the marble in the pipe and you'd try to direct the marble into the pot? That's a swale. You're creating a little channel for water, which is the marble in this story, to go into. Who played Mousetrap? A month ago, my parents were here and we were planning out the pond location. We found the existing swale on the property and thought we'd hit a jackpot. At first glance, it looked like this swale already flowed downhill right into our pond location. This game of mousetrap was over, but we had to be sure, and so we pulled out the laser.
Right now what we're doing is we've picked what we think is the center of the pond, and we're taking an elevation shot on that. And find our elevation point, okay? And we just have to make sure that our source up here on this side of the property is slightly higher than that. And we'll create our drainage swales to channel the water to the ponds. What do you got for an elevation there?
Bad news. There's this swale here. Swales are a great tool at catching water that runs down a hill. And we saw this swale and we're thinking, perfect. This thing can feed our pond. It's already here. The people who were working on the property before us put it in to prevent erosion. That's great. But despite how it looks, the swale is actually going in the wrong direction for what we want. So if we're going to use this hillside with a swale, we're going to have to fix this. And to do that, we're going to need some heavy equipment. So let's go see where we need to start.
If you come, let me just take that off. What we're going to do right now is we're going to drive some stakes in the ground, and what they're going to be is elevation points. It's going to be the same elevation as our starting point at grade where the pond is. So we know that after we dig the pond and we come back and do this swale, we know that's our line, and we'll dig down and we'll create that berm, and it'll capture all that water and funnel it into the pond. After the pond is excavated, you'll come back along this stake line and you'll just dig and create that nice gentle swale, shape it up nicely, and you'll back your way up all the way to this corner. All right, and
so where do you want me to?
So today begins the next stage of this project. We're going to be doing some major earth moving. We're going to be putting in a brand new swale, which will catch all the water running down this hillside and lead it into the pond. Also, we're going to move these piles out of the way so that water can flow right into the pond. Then this entire watershed here, when it rains, all the water will roll down the hill into our pond and over time slowly fill it. Got a lot of bulldoze work to do. I better jump in and start pushing. I'm pretty green in the bulldozer, so I figured instead of trying to make a swale, it'd be better to start by erasing the swale that was already there. That would give me some time to get used to the bulldozer, how it worked, without having to make something really pretty that actually worked well. So I've mentioned how I'm alone at this point on the project. I don't have Danny anymore, and you know, a big project like this, sometimes it's a little bit intimidating to take on all by yourself and have to do by yourself. Fortunately today, I'm not completely alone. I got my son with me, and he's gonna help me shoot some grades. So you ready, bud? All right, let's go set up our laser. I'm gonna be inside the machine trying to create this swale, so my son will be here and he'll be able to check the work I'm doing and make sure I'm doing it right. All right, so you're gonna set up the laser right there, bud. and I'm gonna be working on this swale, and you're gonna be checking my elevations as we go. We want to make sure that our berm has a little bit of a pitch to it so that when the water falls down Sunny Mountain and it hits our swale, that it like actually flows into the pond quickly. If our swale is perfectly level, what will happen in a lot of rains is it'll just sit and then get absorbed into the ground here. That's why a lot of people use swales, to get the water back in their soil, but we actually want the water to wind up in our pond, so we got to give a little pitch to our swale. So we're going to measure the whole distance and then add some pitch as we go every couple inches, and hopefully by the end of the day we'll be ready to catch rain. All right, bud, how long of a trench?
371.
371, okay. So if we want to put, like, let's do some math here. You want to get a lot of people to stop watching your YouTube video? Make them watch you do math. Works every time. I won't do that. We did some math, we got some lunch, we got back ready to dig a swale.
Build a contraption to trap the other mice, but don't get caught yourself. Fun is catching.
Most of you know I'm pretty new when it comes to working in that grate all. If you didn't know already, you can go back and watch that video. The controls, opposite controls, opposite controls. Yeah, I know. Point is, today I'm doing two new things. So I'm operating the grate all, which I'm getting a lot better at. I've never dug a swale before with the grate all. It's very different than digging a swale with an excavator. It's actually a lot easier. However, because I've never done it in the grate all, I still have to get used to the method of how I do it. This first stretch took me a bit of time, and honestly, it's pretty messy. There's some really deep spots that I gotta smooth out. I gotta go back and redo. Let's see if I can do better. This is a 400-foot long trench. Each of these sections that I'm digging is 100-foot long. Let's see if I can do a little bit better, maybe quicker, without having to redo any parts on this next segment. Doesn't that look swale? Every time I send Kay a picture of this project, that's the text I get. That looks swale. So we're getting there. That actually seemed to go quicker. It looks better, it looks smoother than my first cut. So I think I'm getting the hang of this swale thing. We're halfway done. I got to kind of curve around here a little bit and bring it into the pond now, but we're getting there. If I can finish the swale today, move all of the dirt from the side of the pond, dig out the entrance to the pond so the water can get into it, and then I am ready for this. We're gonna have a little bit of an adventure. I'm gonna come during the tropical storm as long as it's not dangerous. By the time it gets into where we are, usually those things lose a lot of steam. So as long as it's just a heavy rain, I'm gonna actually come here and I'm gonna film and see what the water is doing, because it's really important that we know, is our swale working, is the pond filling, if there's a problem, what's causing it. So as long as it's not dangerous, we're gonna have a fun tropical storm video. Should be interesting. First storm on Sunny Mountain. It's not always sunny on Sunny Mountain. All right, progress. Got the swale dug from start to finish, all the way, all in one day. So that's awesome. But now what I gotta do is I gotta make sure from start to finish it goes downhill the whole way. Because sometimes in the machine it's hard to tell if you're digging downhill or not. I know that sounds strange, but it's, you know, you can see there's like illusions where it looks like you're going downhill, but actually you're going uphill. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start at the beginning. I'm gonna set the laser up the whole way, all the way to the pond, and I'm gonna see if there's any areas that I got off track. Because if the water is going down this swale, downhill, and then it hits the spot where it slows down, it could fill up, overflow, and bust my swale. So I gotta make sure we have, it's like, you know, one of those water parks. You wanna make sure that your water slide continues, even if it turns a lot and the tube that the people are in is going up the walls. It can't be a point where it gets too high and the tube goes, ah, and people fall over and it's... Homesteady water park, 8 people die in horrible water park accident. We don't need that. This laser unit is one of those tools that I used a ton back when I was in the excavation world. I actually have a video here on YouTube which explains how these work. So if you've been watching me use this thing in so many videos and you're like, what is he doing? You can click on that little thing that just popped up. So basically what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna check this height and make sure from this point all the way back to the pond, that's annoying, that it continuously goes downhill. Now this is a little confusing, but as this trench goes down, I actually have to move this laser target up. Okay, so far we're good. We're going downhill. Still good, still good. Very good. All good. All right, this is the one spot I'm looking at that it seems like maybe I got a little deep fast, and then over there it might come uphill. So if I have to fix any area, it's gonna be this next section. Let's see. Still good, nice and flat. Also, can we talk about my amazing 80s hair I got going on this? This is a common side effect from when I'm thinking too much about things and I'm going like this all day. Yeah. You can tell how stressed I've been by how high my Spanish afro gets here. We just had, as of filming today, daylight saving time, fall back. So this is the first time I've been here and actually seen the moon come up. And it's this beautiful full moon, and it comes up over the valley over there where there's a couple farmer fields of corn, and oh man, it's just like, it's one of those moments you just gotta stop. I've been working all day, all by myself, going in the machine, working on grades. Doesn't look like a whole lot of progress. It's kind of like a grind sometimes. But then you gotta stop and you gotta stare at that beautiful full moon, listen to the quiet, and just like remind yourself, why am I busy doing this? Why am I working hard here, away from my current homestead, away from the fam? Because someday, Kay and I are gonna be sitting on a porch watching that full moon come up over that very valley right there. And we're gonna remember how much work, how hard we worked during this period of time. And that's gonna be our harvest, staring at that moon. That right now we're both staring at the moon. She's out milking a cow right now. We're getting there. Made some good progress on my grades today. Got the swale, and I cleaned up some of the pond. Hopefully we're ready for the next rain. I gotta get home. Good news, bad news. Let's start with the bad news. Kay always wants to get the bad news over with. We're not ready for it. For what? The good news. There's a storm coming. There's a huge tropical storm about to hit us and gonna dump an inch or more of rain right here, which my swale is done. We're ready. The water can come flowing down and it can go into the pond, but we're not ready for it yet. I still have this pile of material here I gotta move. We gotta do some stuff to take care of the silt and the washout. We gotta do a lot of prep here. I'm gonna do some stuff. Gotta get it done because tomorrow the storm's here. If only I had some help.
Yay!
Yay! All right, let's get to work, everybody. All right, guys, so this is what we gotta do. We gotta protect our pond from silt. So today we're gonna do what I always hated doing working for my dad, put in a silt fence. That's right, Dad. I'm choosing to do this myself and making my kids do it, just like the good old days. So we gotta take some silt fence, we gotta put it on the side of the pond here so when the rain washes all this dirt down, it doesn't silt up our pond. We also gotta stake these straw bales so when the water comes through our swale, it gets filtered. I'm gonna form a couple teams here and then we'll go, okay? I need you to grab me the black silt fence rolls out of the back. Go grab me, it's so sunny, go grab me the wood stakes that are in the back of the car. Your job is to look cute on video. Can you handle it? I don't know if you're up to the task. Okay. Mobilizing the troops. These straw bales are gonna act like a filter. The water is gonna come rolling down off our hill and hit the swale that I dug and run right through this channel. The water will pass through the straw bales, but the silt will not. We don't wanna get our pond full of silt.
What is silt?
What is silt? Fancy, you should ask that. In nature, when it rains, the rain falls on the land, which is covered with vegetation. The vegetation keeps the soil in its place, doesn't wash away, and the soil doesn't wind up in ponds and streams, mucking up the systems and adding too many nutrients to the pond at once. On a construction site like Sunny Mountain, there is very little vegetation, and every time it rains, lots of soil, and i.e. silt, gets eroded and can wind up mucking up the pond and water systems downstream of us. So we want to try to keep it from washing into the pond and off the property. So you're going to do this. See this? Pound the stake through the straw bale. Okay? It'll be pretty easy till you get to the dirt. And when you get to the dirt, getting it. Well, we were as ready as we could be. The storm clouds rolled in and the rain started. We've been working so hard. It's the moment of truth. Today, it's pouring. Got this tropical storm. Is the pond working? Is it holding water? It's 3 weeks to the day that we started this project. And the pond dig is done. We're finished. And we've been racing and racing to get done for this very moment. This is a big, big storm that blew in, and we're getting like an inch of rain today. And we're Coming up to the pond now, and it's like, oh man, big bucks, no whammies. Is it gonna have water? And I see water is down here. Oh man, this is so exciting. We're here. There's the pond. I don't even want to pull up because I don't want to spoil the surprise. I want to like hop out. Will we have water? I finished the swales this week. That was a big project. No, 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 wait, you got to bet. Cookies for lunch. Cookies for lunch. Are we gonna have water? You betting? Look at all this water. Oh man, look at how much is flowing. But this isn't flowing in the pond because I didn't build this swale yet on this side. It's going where it's not supposed to. All right, comment below, pause the video, comment. Is it catching water? Is there water in this pond? I'm saying yes. What are you saying?
I say yes. So I'll bet cookies.
You're betting cookies for lunch? That there's water in here? Whoa! Look at all that water! Woo! Water, water, water! Tripping in that water. Look at this water. Oh man, look at how much water. Not that much, but it's a start. This is how the pond starts. Oh man, it's pouring. I don't want my camera out in this rain too long. Put a hat on it. But I just want to show you what's happening. So yesterday, I bermed up this dirt behind me to direct water down and around and into our swale. Let's see if the swales are working. This is so exciting. Whoa, swale is full of water. Okay, now look at this. Okay, so yesterday we put up these straw bales. They're gonna act as filters. All the water running down the mountainside will hit this swale. I can see it now, it's filling. And it'll run down, all down this thing, fill this little silt trap here, and then overflow through our straw bales, which will keep the silt over here. We want to keep the silt out of the pond. Silt is like fine sand, soil that is bad for a pond ecosystem. So we're trying to keep the silt out. Okay, not only is the pond catching, and well, we'll see if it's holding over the next few days. But look at my swale. My swale is full of water. Look at this. All the water coming off this hillside is being caught and brought down to the pond. What do you think, kid?
Awesome.
It's working. You ready to go swimming?
Not today.
I might just go in. I might just jump in. That is so exciting. It is pouring. I don't want to break my new camera, so honey, take it in. Guys, we did it. We caught rain. The pond is filling. Now let's see if it holds. Whoa! Look at that. That is one storm. That tropical storm came, filled this up almost. Our drain pipe is at the 2-foot mark. So we got almost 2 feet of water at the bottom of the pond. That is incredible. It's also, I had some like concrete block at the bottom I was gonna make a little structure out of that are now underwater. I have no idea where they are, and I guess we won't be making that structure. But that was an awesome storm to have caught. I'm so glad we caught it. Look at how much water we have. This video is part of a multi-part series documenting building this pond from scratch. Go back and start at the beginning if you missed any videos in this series by clicking here.